right, brother. We are live. So, uh, whenever you're ready, bro.
Are you good? Is it really alive? Didn't say it is. Didn't say it live. Huh? Right? There you go. Are you good? Is it really alive? Didn't say it.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, that honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, which rule well, and peace and much love, honors and blessings, salutations to the elect of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, all right, which hold their conduct, composure, and integrity. All right, we're just doing another lesson, a continuation, trying to make a continuation of a lesson we did yesterday together. Um, as Abel's blood cried out, so does ours. And we were basically doing a comparison of how, in this time, the hatred between Jacob and Esau is, really deep seated and, historical. This is a thing that's always been. And, Canaan, and through understanding and over the years that this truth has been coming out, but the Holy Spirit of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and the Son, Yahweh Shai, have made it known who certain individuals are on the planet. And the main ones that we have let you know by the Spirit is Jacob and Esau. But through deeper understanding, we let you know that Jacob and Esau goes back to Cain and Abel, or rather Abel and Cain. All right, there is a process that is called reincarnation. That is a true thing with the Lord. All right, you come back in the flesh in a cycle, basically, and you're born as a human being. Your spirit is what goes into another vessel. The Lord will put your spirit into another vessel when you come out, born, and you are who you are from the past. So Cain and Abel, like we revealed and told you, is Jacob and Esau today. Jacob and Esau. Jacob is the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, which are the Israelites, and Esau is the so-called white man. All right. And basically, what we want to do today is just talk about how it was always, what is the title? It was always good versus evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was always good versus evil. Jacob versus Esau. I only got a tornado siren going off. But
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. But so
okay.
Go ahead.
So like I got a precept for you, just to back up what you were saying. This is Genesis 3:15. And it says here, "And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel."
Yeah, and that's actually a precept I did want to bring out today with this lesson, because what the brother was going into yesterday was the similarities and traits and characteristics, attributes about these people in the scriptures that are revealed to be played out the same way today, or in history, or from history to now, and that's how we can tell who they are today. And so there are other accounts like this is a very good one, because this basically goes back to the beginning. This was during the time of Adam and Eve, all right, which what the scriptures talk about, the serpent, right? That's what it was talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll put the serpent that spoke to Eve, okay, that deceived Eve, which we know that it was not an actual animal talking to Eve. It was a man, and it was a specific type of man that was speaking to her. It was a man who understood beguilement, manipulation, lying. In fact, doesn't it say that the serpent was more cunning?
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking up, or?
I was looking up the word serpent because it goes into some trait. It goes into
Yep, it does. Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you can keep going unless you.
No, yeah, no. So but yeah, no. Trying to put it all together, because just what we're right now, we're proving the similarities of things. All right. history continued through the friction between good versus evil. It started somewhere, but it kept on going. And the Bible, all right, with the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Shai, that men have understanding, we're able to piece these things together and let you know what it is. So when the brother just read that I will put enmity between thy seed and the woman's seed, all right, we know because of understanding that it's talking about the man that spoke to Eve, which we tell you is the spirit of Esau, the so-called white man. It was basically an Edomite, but wasn't the person more than likely didn't have the mark upon their flesh, right? The lack of pigment and all that.
They weren't called Edomites back then,
Right. But nevertheless, it was a lion spirit, and that spirit that was. Damn, man.
You good?
That ain't rain. Something's falling. Anyways, Slacker, bro. I mean, we're under a tornado warning, so Slacker for that. But anyways, it's a good thing I'm in here. But anyways, so yeah. Anyways, that serpent is talking about the serpent seed and the woman seed ultimately represents Esau and Jacob. All right, and this time,
wicked. Yeah.
Yep.
The sons of the wicked and the sons of the righteous.
Yep. Because when you go about the woman seed or the serpent seed, why would the Lord put friction? This is where you got to kind of reason. Would it make sense that women today have a battle with snakes all around? Like it doesn't make sense. In fact, if you look at women, they actually like snakes today. But it's talking about an actual people, which the brother just said, the sons of the wicked and the sons of the righteous. Because if you go to Jeremiah 6:2. In fact, if you want to get it, it'll tell you that the woman is ultimately talking about the nation of Israel. All right.
This is Jeremiah 6:2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman.
There you go. Straight to the point. So now that we understand that the serpent and the woman is ultimately talking about the sons of the wicked, sons of the righteous, because the woman is likened as the nation of Israel is likened as unto a woman, then we can start right there. Where does it start? Okay, the serpent, Eve. When does it come next? When does that friction, that hatred displayed between two people start to occur again?
When is it fulfilled? Right.
The
fulfillment is now.
The
fulfillment is, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, taking out his anger and that perpetual hatred on his brother Jacob. And we've seen that through many ages, but not like in this age. This age, Esau has went all out. His malicious intent is on display, for the world to see how he pretty much he curses his brother. He consistently blames his brother. He laid charges against us. He cast us down from our excellency, And I did look up this word serpent for you, just to get a little bit more into it, because of course it's symbolic for who he is. So when you go into the word serpent really quick, is nachash, okay? And then when you go into the root word of it, same thing, nachash. All right, but here it says to practice divination, divine, observe signs, learn by experience. So from the very beginning, that serpent, the seed of the wicked, was always on the left hand side. He was always on the side of evil. Okay, so diligently observe, practice fortune telling, take as an omen. All right. So enchanter, and the list goes on, and essentially that's what they've been doing since their inception, since the wicked's inception. They've been on the left hand side. You got it, bro.
So I can now just say, keep on reading at the primitive root all the way to the magic and spell.
Oh yeah, Khan. So properly to hiss, i.e. whisper, a magic spell. And that's what they do with the mediums. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're always saying, "Oh, the English language is spells." You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
so when you say certain things in English, most of those things are spells that you casting over people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
so
like good, like Salaka, brother.
go ahead, bro.
Well, no, I was going to use the word working. Like when you work throughout the week,
Hmm.
you're working. Well, Esau actually made it were a king, and it was aimed at Israelite men. You're working but you were a king. It's crazy, man. Like how they do this shit, man. Like, and they got it all. And they got it all around you, man. Things that they've whispered and magic that they practiced upon the Israelites. And this actually goes, hand in hand with Esau and Jacob, which we're going to get into, because when you look at Esau, when he lied about his birthright being stolen, which he sold it, it actually goes into him with that despising of the birthright that he undervalued, but that he again went to his own terms on how he would basically whisper a lie of his own terms, like he wanted something different, and that was by committing murder. He wanted to kill his brother Jacob, and so that's what he's doing now. That's why Esau is trying to kill off the Israelites. The scriptures say, race it. He wants to make our people extinct because he wants his birthright and the blessing back. And so he's trying to go up another way. He's trying to in a sense fortune tell, false divination, all that, by thinking he's deluding himself by thinking that if he does do this, that the Lord is going to give him back or he's going to give him immortality, and giving him things that were promised to Jacob. Go ahead.
Is in his mind. He's just going to take it back. He's going to strong arm it.
Yep.
He's going to strong arm the blessing back or the birthright back. Which is a difference between the blessing and the birthright. The birthright is essentially you carrying on a legacy of your family, of your foreparent. And of course, he spat upon it. Like you were going into, he pretty much just totally disregarded it. And he does nothing to uphold that, to perpetuate that legacy. Even though he does have favor, even though he still ain't learned righteousness, he still ain't learned how to, glorify the name of the Lord.
Yep.
And that's why he's not worthy to be in the position that he is. He was only there as a detour for us, because we messed up. The sons of the righteous had, transgressed, and we were cursed. The curses came upon us. And so he was just there to punish us. Right.
Yep.
Also, that we may learn the ultimate lesson, and and through our endeavor, learn that the greatest lesson ever learned is how to rule, and how to obey, So you got it, bro.
Con. Well, I mean, we could start with the story because, again, some similarities. I was actually thinking about, yesterday when we went into Cain and Abel. There were certain things that were done. There's certain statements or questions or responses that were made that would like when someone says something and you look at them like, what the? Did he really just say that shit? Did he really like? Well, that type of sentiment that we have with Cain is when he said to the Heavenly Father, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Like, damn, you really just don't know you didn't,
Right.
But with Esau's moment like that was when he was the transaction between him and Jacob for the birthright. And what did he say? He said, "What profit does this do for me right now?"
Mm-hmm.
Like that's pretty fucked up because he's like, man, you got to really think about it. Like, he was like, man, well, my father ain't dead yet, so what is it going to profit me? Because the birthright was inherited once the father passed,
Right.
So that was another one of those moments, and again, we could trace it or correlate it as a similarity because these two people act in the same type of way, not understanding. Back then, man, a birthright. I mean, birthrights still are, well, they're kind of a dead thing in this time, but we understand it. But birthrights were like extremely important, man. Like they were very important. Men used to make oaths Go ahead. What'd you say?
Core principle, core value, core.
Yep.
Yeah, it was at
Yep.
the crux of culture.
There you
You
go.
know,
Yep. So to have an attitude like that, we seeing what type of mindset that Esau was having. So, anyways, you got it, brother.
so Genesis 4 and
Um. Oh no. Genesis. With Jacob and Esau.
that's like Jacob and
Yeah.
Esau
It's like
25.
we can start. At the very beginning of it, like not the actual number one or verse one, but like where
Where the
talk
story
about
begins.
where the childs were struggling.
Yeah, I got you. This is Genesis 25 and 19. All right, and this is the ancestors of the nation of Israel and the ancestors of the nation of Edom. All right, Edom being the so-called white man, Israel being the so-called Latino Native American and Negro descent. All right, so Isaac's sons, Genesis 25:19, and these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Pandanaram. All right, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh, all right, for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord Yahweh. And the
And this is
Lord,
the script. Like I was just saying, this is the point that we always tell you that this is how we know that there was a friction between these two oppositions of people. From the very beginning.
yeah,
And we let you know that because she had something going on down there, man. So she was like, "There's something crazy going on with these two," you know.
yeah.
So
If this is a
that's why.
blessing, why am I thus? Why is this happening? If it's a
Yep.
blessing, and the Lord
Yep.
is going to proceed to tell her,
Con.
So it says,
You got
in the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. You see, let that sink in for you Christians out there. They for some odd reason they just can't get it. But the Lord told you 2 nations were going to come from these two sons, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Okay, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people. That's Jacob and his descendants. And the elder shall serve the younger, right? And the elder was Esau, okay? And he was going to serve the younger, meaning Jacob, all right? And that happened on many occasions, but the ultimate serving that he's going to do is in the kingdom of heaven. So, verse 24, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, all right? And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
Yep. And we teach you that there's a reason why the complexion of Esau was described in the scriptures. We let you. It's known that before Esau, the complexion of all people was they were dark skinned, dark brown, dark shades of brown. All right. That's why it doesn't mention. That's why it doesn't mention to you the color of Cain. When Esau was Cain. All right. And it wasn't until after Cain, or it wasn't until Cain that a red skinned appearing person came into the earth, because Esau was the first red skinned person to be born. That's why the scriptures describe that. All right. And we let you know that the reason why Esau was red and hairy was because he lacks pigment in his skin. He doesn't have melanin.
And it
all right.
goes
And
back to that
go ahead.
mark.
Don.
Yeah. It
Yep.
goes back to him being marked
Yep.
back in dealing
For
with
the
Cain.
murder.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it said, as you read, it said that the first came out red and over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. There you go. And Esau was named Esau because, you got to again imagine Isaac looked at him and was like, a waste. Why
Yeah.
why would Isaac knew what he named him. And we know Esau means wasted away. Okay.
I
Because he
sure.
came out.
Yeah.
Yep. He came out the color he did. You got it.
Yeah. In blue letter going off, they they said
Yeah.
Shaw means hairy, but it don't.
Yep.
Okay. So I can continue.
God.
All right, verse 26. Okay, it says, and after that, his brother came out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob or Yaquab in the Hebrew, right? And Isaac was 60 years old when she bare them.
And that also, again, it's symbolic. The heel, um, Jacob coming out holding the heel of Esau is
Mm-hmm.
symbolic. Represents the one ruling first, and then the other one coming out after, and that's in what that second address 6,
Yeah,
if I'm not
I got it.
mistaken.
I got it for
Oh,
you.
okay, come on. I can't see it's really small. So
Oh, okay. It's all good. This is Second Ezra chapter 6. Okay, and I'll start at 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Okay. And when you look at the story of Jacob and Esau, that's what they ultimately that's what they represent, the parting asunder of times. So Esau's kingdom, being established, but then falling, and Jacob inheriting the kingdom of heaven. All right. So continue. It says, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Okay. And it goes back to what you were saying, because it represents Jacob pulling down at the foundation of Esau, which represents what Esau's in, him coming down, and Jacob actually coming into power. Because
yep,
that's how this transition was going to come. All right, the end of the first what represents what Esau has established as a kingdom. All right, his rulership, which is pretty much what we see in the world now. People lamenting, corrupt governments, the earth being destroyed. All right, that's the first, right? And the Lord has always promised from the beginning that He was going to establish a eternal kingdom. All right, upon earth, upon this very earth, an eternal kingdom. Okay. And so the dominion that's in the heavens would pretty much overtake this earth. All right. And that influence will be in the earth forever. Okay. And that represents what Jacob was promised. It was always intended to be that way. So moving on, it says Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see,
yep,
the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question Ezra asked out not. Okay. Because essentially, uh, this is the transition. All right. Okay. And
yep. And it was
what now we're in the exact part where Jacob is pulling on this, symbolically pulling, we're pulling on his heel now. With this truth, then shall a righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. It's all happening now.
yep, yep. And this is all showing again that conflict, the opposition, good
Hmm.
versus evil. That's the watermark on the lesson today, man. That
Hmm.
because but the whole thing about the heel too, from an earthly view aspect or whatever you want to say, it's showing that there was friction going on between them because there's actually suggestions that Jacob was trying to get out first, so he can get the birthright, like we know babies can't, think like that, but when you break down what was going on, the friction, the elders to serve the younger and this and that, it looks like they were fighting. But we do know that they were fighting. They were struggling. They were always at war with each other, man, from the very beginning, like we read, to now. So, but as the brother just gave a lot of good details, the righteous man standing in great boldness, that's us. We're doing that now, but we're coming against the evil, which is Esau. All right. Esau is the wicked. Malachi, the first chapter, tells you that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you got it, bro.
I got this Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 10. It says, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them he hath blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. Okay. And that was the children of Israel. All right. The Lord had chose them, but some of them hath he cursed and brought low. All right. And turned out of their places. All right. And both was the same for us, because we were cursed. We brought the curse upon us by transgression, but, naturally the Lord cursed, the nations. Okay. All right. And the nations are actually, they're bringing up, a severe curse upon themselves now. So moving on, it says, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best. So it's the Father's choice. It's the Most High's choice. That's why he chose, Esau to serve Jacob, and he chose Esau to come out first, but ultimately he rejected him. He changed up the tradition. Normally through certain actions, like we know, Esau sold his birthright. That was, that moment. What had happened was the Lord had created that situation so that outcome could happen. All right. And that's just how the Lord works. You got people mad and they got this carnal outlook on what took place. Oh, Jacob's the thief and they mad at Jacob, but is ultimately the Lord's choosing, like the scripture talk about the casting a lot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did you have another example?
Yeah. Let's see. I think it's in Romans. Was that Romans 9? Where it said the children doing.
Yeah, I got you.
I can't really type it the right way. Nope.
I'm looking it up now.
Okay. It's like Romans 9, where it said the children doing
9:11.
either good or evil.
I got you. I'm gonna start at 10. Romans 9 and 10. It says, and not only this, but Rebekah also have conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. See, so none of them did anything. None of them did, anything to prove or to be chosen. It was just the Lord's choosing. Okay.
Yep. Well, like you said, about creating that circumstance or to have that specific outcome, the same way that the Lord rejected Cain and his offering, he created that situation for Cain to do what he did so that he could be rejected then. Same way with Esau's situation, it sent him down an entirely different path once he felt he'd been robbed of his birthright, because it resorted to, because what if Jacob never asked for that? Their relationship would have been cool still, or, who knows? Lord could have created another situation down the line. It didn't have to be a bowl of food, but it just so happened to be that specific thing that, and it's really funny, how the Lord works, but it tells you that Esau, his mind became exactly the way that Cain's mind became once he'd been rejected, because we already know that, which I don't know how far we'll get into it. We ain't got to go all the way into it, but it tells you that Esau was crying, man. He was really distraught and vexed about what had happened, because having felt that he'd been rejected again, it said that when you look into the synopsis and what have you, it tells you that Esau felt like as if he'd received the curse of inferiority. Same way that Cain did, felt. He felt inferior because he wasn't accepted. So what did he do? He got proud, and he became, he did what he did. He took and he went upon his own terms, just like how Esau became with how he is against Jacob, but even further with us in this time and what he's doing now. So
Yeah, definitely.
it all plays and ties in, man.
Yeah. And yeah, Esau is definitely playing off his own ego, his own pride,
Mm-hmm.
and then ultimately it's going to lead us or him to the expected outcome that the Lord has set up for him anyway, which is a total annihilation.
I got one more precept for you. Slacker.
Okay. Did you, let me see. It is a little bit more on here if you want me to.
Okay, con.
All right. It says, Romans 9:12, it says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? God forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that sheweth mercy. Yep. So you got it, bro.
No, yeah. So actually, it was good that you read to where you did, because this one just backs it up. 2nd Ezra 3:16, just to add to Esau being rejected from the Lord and Jacob. Esau being rejected, Jacob being accepted. My goodness. Jacob being accepted, Esau being rejected.
2nd Ezra, what was that? 2nd Ezra what?
3:16.
All right. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready, you can shoot.
It said, 2nd Ezra 3:16, it says, and unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau.
Yeah, good. The good
Go ahead.
and the evil. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what came out. The good child. Y'all remember that movie? What was it? The Good Son? With was it Macaulay Culkin? If I'm not mistaken, the kid that played in Home Alone. But anyway.
Yeah, that's Macaulay Culkin is his name. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jacob, this is the sons of the righteous and the sons of the wicked coming out of the same womb. Let me see. Man. Turn this
Oh, yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got it coming too.
Yeah, man. I just opened the windows because it's dark, man. It looks really gloomy outside.
Yeah,
the lightning
it's dark out here too.
The lightning and all of that, is going off. So it says, it says, and unto him that thou gavest Isaac, and unto Jacob, and unto Isaac that also thou gavest Jacob and Esau.
Yep. Good and evil.
Yep. As for Jacob, the sons of the righteous, thou didst choose him to thee. Right. And that goes back to what we read here in Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 13.
Blessed.
And verse 12, It says, some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. All right. So the scripture is not broken because it aligns with this one. It says, and unto him thou gavest Isaac, 2nd Ezra 3:16, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee and put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude.
Yeah, and literally all you got to do is just look up the parentheses or whatever, put by. It literally means to reject.
Yep.
So the Lord rejected Esau. All right. And for every good reason, man. I mean, the scriptures tell you, look, us, man, we have the understanding of how that the Lord has set all these things up for himself. He created this elaborate, theme and story. Yeah, but to just write it off as at the end of the day of like, well, the Lord did it. No, at the same time, the Lord creates he created this feeling of being. That's in wisdom. What is it? Wisdom of Solomon, the first chapter, or I think the very beginning, that the Lord created all things that have their being. So it feels as if this, we don't feel the total control of the Lord, being on us. So it comes off as if Esau is making his own choices. Jacob, we are making our choices. But the scriptures do tell you that the Lord gives every man him that liketh best. I believe that's how it says.
Yeah.
That basically flesh consorted to its liking, and the Lord will give a man to what he likes. Esau has been this individual that has loved wickedness. The scriptures say it. He loves being the bloody, deceptive, killing, violent man.
That's in Sirach 13, I believe. Every beast loveth his like. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah, and it goes into it. This is all flesh consorted according to kind. Sirach 13 and 16, Ecclesiastes. Yep. It says all flesh consorted according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like.
Yep. And that's just one of the few scriptures that there are, man, to show that, again, a man will cleave or go to, the type of, like today, man, they have that saying, bitches of a feather flock together, because the person will gravitate to another person who has the same, what do you call it? Likings.
Yeah.
The hobbies and all that type of stuff, But with Esau in particular, in Jacob, all right, Esau, in the scriptures, it shows that he's always loved being wicked. He's always loved being, especially towards his brother. Mm-hmm. All right. The very first, the good story, the account during the time of Egypt when Israel was being delivered. All right. Jacob and Israel are interchangeable at this point. All right. When you read Jacob or Israel, it's talking about the same people. All right. The Israelites.
That's it.
And so when Israel was being delivered out of Egypt, it will tell you that Esau was very hostile, and also was, killing off the weak. All right. Mm-hmm. And then we have in history, man, there's hundreds of thousands of documents of history and books that tell you what Esau was doing to, the Israelites throughout history. One of my favorite is, Devastation of the Indies by Bartolome de la Casa. It tells you it's just nothing but just total violence against the Israelites, man. And Esau was rejoicing at it. All right. Yeah. And the peaceable, it even tells you in the account that Bartolome de la Casa recorded, he said that when they came to what was it, Hispaniola, it was said that they acknowledged the fact that these people they saw already there looked so beautiful and looked as the most humble and meek and peaceful people on the planet. Yeah. But what Esau saw after that was submission, war, making slaves, and that's exactly what they did. Mm-hmm. So but like I said a minute ago, there's a good reason why the Lord chose this man to be the way that he is, but also has his outcome to be what it's going to become. Because look at what he's doing, Yeah.
His works speak for themselves.
Yeah.
As the what it says, it says, you should know a fruit.
A tree by its fruit. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then basically, in other words, that means you should know a man from his works. You know, the thief cometh not but to steal and to kill. And what does Esau do all over the world, all over the planet? That's his main, his theme is to kill. He weigheth the violence of his hands in the earth. His enemies, he puffeth at them. It's a consistent basis of him being violent, and why? Because that's who the Lord created him to be, Give me a second, bro. You got it, bro.
Go on. Well, I'll go ahead and keep on reading that the book of Genesis, because I do want to read this like a synopsis, because what I typed in on Google was, why does Esau always hate Jacob? So let me go ahead and get back to that book, Genesis 25. All right.
Hey, bro. So I believe it's an actual tornado that's taking place. I just got warned that
okay, yeah, we're having that terrible weather too, man.
But I'm through the spirit, I'm gonna just keep, unless
you wanna go to end it, we can pick it up later.
And it's getting real dark. But yeah, this ain't that type of weather you want to play with. But let's keep going, man. And look,
Okay.
I'll turn it off if it get, crazy. The wind start blowing and the windows, start busting or something like that. Lord willing, it don't happen like that. But normally the telltale sign would be the internet would be the first thing to go. But we good though. You got it.
Don't stop the lesson, but please don't cut the internet,
Lord, please. You got it.
Yeah, well, no, I was just going back to this Genesis because
Okay.
I do want to read that little part of section that I got when I went into Google and typed up why Esau always hated Jacob. So
Right. And
you can just go
we
back to
got
that book.
precepts in the chat too. So the brothers giving us precepts and the water too. So go ahead though. You got it, bro. It's on you.
Well, yeah, just you can go back to Genesis 25.
All right. So yeah, Genesis 25, and I'll pick up where I left off. Let's see here. 27, Genesis 25, 27. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
And it's like this. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, you went into that earlier. Him being a plain man, meaning he was perfect. He's an upright, like Jake is today, homebody. They take care of their family, despite and contrary what Esau has been projecting to the whole world, that we are deadbeat fathers, that we normally abandon our families. But the statistics say that the so-called Negro, is the number one in being there, being actively involved in the family structure.
Mm-hmm.
Just to point that out there,
Very true.
You got to pull down those strongholds. You got it, bro.
Oh, well, what did because you read? Let me see. What verse was that you just read?
27.
And the boys grew. Yeah. So yeah, I think we went into it before we started the lesson, but yeah, it said that Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field. What was Cain? Just to show you the similarities. Cain was a tiller of the ground. A tiller of the ground is a man who's in the field. That's what they actually call cropland, fields. Okay. And so, you good, bro? Or okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and go. Okay, so so it says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Again, the similarities with Cain. Okay, it says, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So real quick, I'm gonna go into that word plain, because the Hebrew word for plain should be thumb. All right, and when you look at being plain, it means to be complete morally, pious, specifically gentle, dear, coupled together, perfect. All right, undefiled and upright. All right, and we understand that we just brought out in Romans the 9th chapter that Esau was created for a certain purpose, Jacob was created for a certain purpose. All right, and neither of them doing good or evil. The Lord determined which one was going to be the good, which one's going to be the evil. It just so happens Esau is the evil, Jacob is the upright. All right, that's why I quoted it earlier, but it was what is that? 16 and 49, where it talks about a whore that envieth a virtuous woman. Yeah. That's how Esau is with Jacob, because the brother, actually, it's funny, the brother posted a scripture too on the what do you call it, the comment board, with Proverbs 29 and 27, and I'll just read it. It said that an unjust man is an abomination to the just. It says, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. See, yeah. So, it's the same way as a whore envieth a virtuous woman. They got those qualities, or they feel inferior. The same way that Esau felt with Jacob, the same way that Cain felt with Abel, them being the same exact people. So, situations that were created to make these individuals ultimately play out how they were going to be in the future, because Jacob being who he was and him getting the birthright, and through prophecy, we understand that Jacob's going to get the best. He's going to get the reward of being righteous ultimately in the end. And that's going to come through the elect in this time. All right. But Esau, because he was rejected with the what do you call it? The birthright, even though he gave it away, he sold it. That set him on a whole different path, and it's going to lead him to destruction.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's why Esau and Esau, and another thing is, we make a note, Esau, especially, particularly these elites, they know that. They know now, man. And, the other Tazawam, said a while back, it was funny. He goes, Esau more than likely was talking to this about, to his children, as he became a grandfather, the dinner table did, this nigga took my blessing. That's where the first time they ever used the N-word, man. But so this, and like the brother, you commonly say the perpetual hatred from Esau, man, has carried out. And this came, and just like how he was rejected and how he had that bitter cry, this all represented a deep-seated issue. So we can see how this good versus evil, this humongously long battle has been going on, this friction, this opposition. And it all goes back to Jacob and Esau, Cain and Abel, the serpent and the woman. They were both the same people. All right.
Right.
So
perfect.
You're good, bro. You can continue if you like. If you don't have a precept. Okay, come.
Back in Genesis, let's see here, Slakia. Genesis 25 and 28.
Yep.
It says, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sod pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, Seymour. No, that little house of horrors, little shop of horrors. But and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom, Adawam, for that red pottage.
Yep. Esau's name would have never been changed to Edom had this not happened. But we tell you, go ahead. You got it.
No, it was all part of the play. It was all part of the what the Lord has set up. Yep. And just like now, everything that's happening is setting the future events up, so certain things can happen. Just like even with the miracles, when Esau shall come in like a flood, then shall the Lord lift up a standard against him. Well, in order for that power to be shown, we got to have the our arch nemesis, essentially with our backs, having our backs against the wall against him, and he's gonna come in overwhelming power, especially with his technology, So let's see here. I did want to go into red pottage.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about the same thing, because that goes into other things too. It symbolizes his craving for blood, his light. And if you notice, man, Edomites love the color red, man. That shit is annoying, especially them red cars and red shirts. But
yeah, damn, blue letter going off again. It says Adam, but red is Adawam.
Oh yeah, it'll say red or ruddy. Yeah.
We can skip it.
Yeah, but I mean, simply, Edom does mean red.
Right.
Yep. But let me see. And I think it even tells you, if not, the next chapter tells you Esau is Edom. But
right.
Yeah.
Right. Just like Jacob is Israel.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. So I can go back to Sirach 33 and 14.
Okay.
Right. It says good is set against evil, right? And life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So what the Lord has done is essentially, he made the story to essentially the wicked being, the how can you say the star somewhat, the protagonist or antagonist. I forget which one, what it means exactly. Which one would they play?
Who
They are the protagonists, right?
Esau or
No, antagonist. Let me see. Makes key decisions that affect the
yeah,
plot.
he would be an antagonist.
Okay, so he's the antagonist, and Jacob is the protagonist. Jacob is the good that's set against the evil, and the Lord has allowed Esau to rise to the height of power and and destruction, taking peace from the earth. That red horse that took peace from the earth. And he's brought so much pain, and the Lord has set us up as the good, to counteract everything he's doing by way of the word, by the most subtle thing that ever, which is it just words. It's just words, man. But this is how we're bringing down. This is how the good is being established by these judgments that we're speaking. And the scriptures go into that too as well. I would have, if you don't mind, brother.
Come on, you good, you good.
I know it's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. All right, and let's see here. I'll just cut straight to the point. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse, I can start at 7, and it says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work." And look, Paul knew, just like other Israelites of his time who were spiritual men, they knew that mystery of iniquity was who? It was Edom, and how he was ruling. It says, "Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." So there's a purpose behind why Paul is even saying this in the first place. Okay, because he's just giving you more clues to the overall story. Okay, and who's who, the mystery of iniquity, right? But it says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, right, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and destroy with the brightness of his coming." Okay, and that's essentially how that good is being, as it says here, the good is set against the evil and life against death.
Yep.
So by this word,
what is it? The spirit of his. It said the spirit of his mouth, which we know as the prophets, which were the prophets only belong to the Israelites. All right.
That's right.
So the good coming against the evil, the righteous standing up in great boldness against them that have afflicted them. They may no account of their labor. So good versus evil.
Right.
You got it.
All right. So let's see here. Did I have anything? No, I didn't have none for that. All right. So it says, "Good is set against evil and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly." So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another. Okay. And so, yeah, Esau has, been, pitching to the world that he, a godsend, he's upright, and, he's God's gift to this earth. But it was all a lie, it was all deception. And how do you know that? Through the men of the Lord, the prophets that the Lord has set up to reveal the wicked in his time. And this is time to be revealed. This is the time of his skirts being lifted, So did you have anything? My bad.
Oh no, just going back to that account in
Okay, cool.
Genesis.
All right, so this is Genesis 25. All right, and 31. It says, and Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Gotcha. All right. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? He's like, man,
Yeah,
what basically what good is gonna come from even wanting this anyway? Which speaks to his nature, his estranged nature. You know,
yeah, you
no dignity, no what do you call it? Integrity what's the Latin word?
integral.
In, integrity or something like
Oh,
that. All right. But the dude ain't got he ain't got no spine. And that's a trait that you see with the so-called white man. They don't have no spine, right? It's just gimme, gimme, gimme for the moment, you know? So
yeah.
in Esau, yep, go ahead, bro.
Before you keep on going, I want to get this, but the word is strange because the scriptures do say that the wicked are estranged from the womb. And that was actually one of the things I wanted to talk about. You know, I'm glad it came up. But
Mm-hmm.
being estranged describes a person who has lost former closeness, affection, or friendly relations with another,
Mm,
often resulting in physical separation. Which the nature of Esau totally separated him from the Heavenly Father.
yep.
You know, it said, or a total lack of communications. The synonyms are alienated, separated, disconnected, disaffected, split. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
go
yeah.
yeah,
So he was cut off from the most high from the beginning. You
yeah.
know, I
Well,
got a precept.
what are you gonna get?
Go ahead, bro. I'll wait.
Oh, no, because I'm thinking about uh the what
Psalm
does it mean
68:3.
to
Oh,
be
strange.
being a bastard
Mm,
outside the temple?
mm-hmm.
What is that? You know which one?
Hebrews.
It means to be outside of the temple, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Hebrews leads to be any fornicator, right?
yeah. I think the brother posted that.
Okay.
Was it the other day? No, that was the other day.
Oh.
But I'm gonna get it.
But I mean, but that is a separate that shows a separation, a disconnect, because we even have there's like for instance, well, actually, what the scriptures through extrapolation, well, no, not extrapolation, it tells you that in the kingdom, Esau ain't gonna even be allowed to come into the city, you know. So
Yeah,
a total disconnect,
yeah. He was like permanently made unclean. That's that
permanently
mark.
barred. Yeah.
Yeah, he permanently unclean. And his translucent skin. You know.
Yeah, which we
Um.
know that's a clean leprosy, but
Yeah.
it's still leprosy,
Yeah.
you know.
Nevertheless, this is Hebrews 12:16. It says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright."
Yeah.
Let's see what it says in the NLT. Hebrews 12:16. Make sure that no one is immoral or godless like Esau. Yeah, man, who's more godless than the so-called white man? You know, it says, who traded his birthright as the firstborn son for a single meal. Damn. I'm
Again,
thinking like the first 48 or something like that. You trade out your whole, you snitch on your squad for, you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's crazy.
Yep. Yep.
But he threw the legacy away for one meal. So
Yep.
that's how much he cared. You know, the legacy to carry on that name meant nothing more than a meal to him,
Yeah.
or even less than a meal. Excuse me. You
But
know?
no, but it, the Lord made sure that Esau had no way of getting back. Again, you said it earlier, not understanding the gravity or the care of carrying on your father's legacy, understanding, the culture of it, the root of it, all of it, I can't think of the words, like
You said
the depth,
the
basically.
gravity of it, the
Yeah,
importance.
yep, yep. So, and those things are holy to the Lord, basically.
Yeah.
So the scriptures do say that against thee, the only have we sinned and done this evil on that side. So Esau did that directly to the Lord again. So the Lord was like, I'm finished with this shit, man. I'm gonna make sure you can't get back now.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Lord tested him to that point.
Yep.
I mean, he always knew who he was, but he put a situation there to test him, and he brought an occasion against him by, testing him, and what he do is what he was made to do,
Mhm.
was spat on, and even now he believes that following the Lord doesn't benefit. What benefit is it for him to, to keep the statutes, to keep his commandments? Even when you deal with Esau, the person, what good is it that I follow my father's instructions? What's the whole purpose behind it? Well, it wasn't for you to understand. So I got Psalms 58:3. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. And the brother, you just went into that word. Okay. Meaning basically he was cut off from his maker from the beginning, from his birth. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Okay. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. There you go. And it is, why did it reference the serpent? Because it goes back to the garden.
Yeah.
They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. See? And a deaf adder is basically you not trying to listen. All right. You can care for, like Esau, he could care less about that birthright,
Yeah.
just give me the meat, man. just give me the meat. All right. Verse 5, it says, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. And who are the charmers? The charmers, the righteous. Like yesterday we was talking about Abel, as him, and before Cain slew him, they had to been talking, and Abel probably was probably could have been reassuring him, hey man, everything gonna be all right. But he just, his hatred and his jealousy just flame, and he probably was rebuking him like, hey, you knew better, you know uh uh so like Abel, he was most likely he was charming him, just like the prophets are today. Hey man, you're supposed to, you're supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to do that. Come on
Yeah.
now, man. Why you gonna get mad? And that's just a sad piece of crap, of a person. For you get mad for you messing up, you know? That's man, that's woo.
Yeah.
Verse 6, it says, break their teeth, okay, oh God, in their mouth, break out the great teeth of the young lions, oh Lord. And that's your military, because I mean, that's what's upholding you now, is your military might. That's your go-to. That's what guarantees you tomorrow, And soon the Lord is going to show you that even with your military and your weapons, your technology, all that, it still can't save you from him, because he shall not, you shall not meet thee as a man. You see? Um yep, as a snail melteth, and check out these references, is dope, right? Melted as a snail which melted, let every one of them pass away. Like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. And that's what's going to happen to Esau, man. Okay. Ultimately, your end is going to be total annihilation. And then you're going to wake up in the kingdom of heaven cursed. And you're going to be the only one that's like a field trip. You know, you're going to be held back for eternity. You can't go on this field trip. You can't even get on the bus. You seeing everybody leave out the, you know, you looking out the window and you seeing everybody on the bus and your feelings hurt. Like, damn, I should have paid that $15 when I had the chance, you know? And in the whole eternity, you're going to be thinking to yourself, man, I should have did them right, man. Yep. And then that's when you're going to truly learn. Because right now, Esau is incompetent when it comes to the pain that he causes all the world, and mainly the children of Israel, and the hatred behind his pain. He's right now, he's passionately, hatefully drunk. You know, he's drunk with madness right now. So he's not stopping to, you know, consider anything. Ain't nothing, you know, pricking him about, oh, this is bad. You know, this is, you know, horrible. He's just doing whatever the hell he wants.
What does it say? And what is that? Psalm 73 or 74? Which one is it? Where it says that he wears violence as a chain?
Yeah. And he puts violence on, like he puts on clothes. Yep. You know, and yeah, man, boy. Yeah. I just lost my train of thought, but let's I'll keep going. All right. That's probably for a good reason. But let's see here. But yeah, that's it on that. That's Psalms 58. I'm gonna cut it right there. But let's see.
Go on the next chapter. Yeah. And then we'll get to the part where it said that he cried or whatever.
Then, Genesis 27. Yeah. So I'll just read these last few verses. Genesis 25 and 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Right? Like nothing ever happened. Like that shit didn't matter. Right? It says, thus Esau despised his birthright. Man, fuck that birthright, man. Right? Because he gave it to his brother, and like, man, the hell with that. That's just how much. That shows you how much he hated. He despised the birthright because he gave it to his brother. You know? Boy. All right. Let's see here. What's up, bro?
I'm trying to see. Is 26?
It's 27, where he wept.
Yeah. I mean, we ain't got to read this whole part. What happened? I'm tripping. Yeah, Genesis 27. You want to jump to Genesis 27?
Yeah, I'm already there.
Oh, okay. So like it.
I'm gonna cut to the chase. This is 27 and 37 Genesis. It says, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And this goes back to that 25th verse. The elder shall serve the younger. All right. Prophecy fulfilled. So it says Genesis 27:38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also. You know, oh, my father, you know. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Oh, no. You know, because this is after Jacob. His name is coined, you know, for that he's Yaiqua, which means to supplant. So he supplanted Esau again. He supplanted Esau in the 25th chapter, and in the 27th chapter. Go ahead, bro.
It's like it. No, you good. You good. It's like it.
And he supplanted him in the 27th chapter. Okay. And so verse 39, it says, and Isaac, his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And I got to say this, because what you see in these different blessings that he's given, he's given a righteous blessing upon Jacob, and he's essentially gave Esau an evil blessing. Evil. In Hebrews 11, Salaki. Yeah, forgive me. Hebrews 11. Here, my bad. I'm gonna just go back a chapter.
Well, this also ties into the Lord with his own purpose and choosing, because those that have an ear, let him hear. We understand that Isaac was Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Predestination and all that played in right here, because you have another instance where Jacob and who was it, Joseph, what was it? Jacob put his right hand on the head of who was it, Ephraim, and then Manasseh, he put his left hand on. Jacob kept trying to change the hands, but Joseph kept trying to change his hands, but Jacob kept putting them the way they were. The Spirit had it set up that way. It was predestinated. Same way right here. That's how we know Isaac.
Because only the Lord can. Only the Lord. He can pretty much take tradition out of the way for his purpose, because he's righteous. He can do that. Just like he can make the son. He can make Esau the sons of the wicked. For his purpose. And that's just how the Lord rolled. He can do that. He's righteous. He can change it up so it can be one way for so long, and that could be the traditional way, and then the Lord can say, "Hey, look, I want to do this. I want to change it up, and we're gonna do it."
Hey, you good, bro? I think it says you're muted. You're still say something. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? You're good. I think I can hear you now.
Yeah, just my mic just unplugged.
Okay.
Hey, Shalom, Lamad, Kazak, Bunya, Howard, Shalom, Yabashman, Shabakathum. Hey, Shalom, Saquan, Tazawan, Shalom. All right, so let's see here. We can continue. My bad. Can you hear the rain in the background?
Nope.
Okay, good. It's coming down pretty hard and the wind's blowing. But Hebrews 11 and 20 is here we go. Hebrews 11 and 20. All right. It was by faith that Isaac promised blessings for the future to his sons. This is the NLT, by the way. It says Jacob and Esau. KJV says, by faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. So he blessed them. He gave them future blessings. And Jacob's blessing was a righteous blessing. All right. His blessing consisted of, Jacob bringing forth righteousness. And when you look at Esau's blessing, as we go back here, Genesis 27 and 39, right? This consisted of evil. Because he was going to have to do evil to actually bring about this blessing. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we see in the world. That's why, it's so much war. It's constant war. When Esau, they talk about black on black crime, but it ain't nothing. You can't compare it to what the so-called white man has been doing for the last 400, 500 years. It's been consistent wars. It has been nonstop. All right. So Genesis 27 and 39, and Isaac His father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And that's why Esau is everywhere in everybody's backyard. Okay. So the fatness is going into riches, the most, succulent place. It's succulent. But verse 40, it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. Right. And this is evil because what? When you go into the word sword, go ahead, bro. You wanted to say something? My bad.
Oh no, I'm just listening. But I mean, are you going to go into the word sword? I mean, what the funny thing is, again, this is an area where we can tie the sons of the wicked and who they were, who they are here, who they were before, who they started out to be, because we know that Cain, with Qui-Gon, right?
Yeah.
Which means a weapon. And what did Cain use, or what did Cain do to kill his brother? We extrapolate to say that he created a weapon to kill his brother. A sword. The weapon is essentially sword. Because a sword is used to what do you call it? Stab, thrash, or that. I can't remember the word, but to kill, right? Same thing here. It said right there, Genesis 27:40, and by thy sword shalt thou live. Yeah. All right? Same thing, same similarities.
Come. I believe it was Cain's son, Tubal Cain, who was an artificer.
Yep.
And he created, and his whole thing, I think it was like a blacksmith. His whole thing was about creating weapons. Yep. So even with these sons of the wicked, their whole being was to bring about war, to waste. Yep. And it's the same thing going on today, so connecting past, present and future. So here's the word kharab, or waste, or no, sword, which is to be waste, to lay waste, make desolate, be desolate. Right? So we can like interchange one of those definitions for the word sword, right? It says, and by wasting, lay waste, all right, shall thou live. Or to make desolate, making desolate, that's how you live. And to live is sustain life. So in order for you to, sustain life, you have wasted and destroyed. Okay. And this cleanly matches up with what the so-called white man is doing today. And we just went into Hebrews 11 and 20. He blessed them concerning things to come. Jacob and Esau. He said, in the future, this is what you're going to do. You're going to establish yourself through evil means. Okay. This is what he said to Esau. Okay. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. You can go ahead and keep reading.
I'm going to finish it up. It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that happened after Solomon's kingdom, went to his sons. Okay. Well, after, because David pretty much went to war with all the nations and subdued them, and of course, Solomon had 40 years of peace.
Yep.
And then Esau was like, finally, when we broke up as a nation and the Lord was, punishing us and had the nations, put us in captivity. Well, for Esau, that was the best thing going, because, and again, he was on the side. He was race it at one point when the Babylonians came in, so he couldn't wait. All right. So that pretty much fulfilled those last two lines, Okay. In verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And boy, don't they hate us. They hate us now, even now. Like you said, he must have been passing this hatred down through tradition. Yep. It was tradition to hate. And this is definitely a reason to perpetually hate your brother.
Ooh, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it said, I'm going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to get to the point and then I'll go ahead and read it because I did want to get this out today. But it says that through that whole scenario of Esau and Jacob, the blessing, birthright, the food, all of that, it said that at the end of this, that although a moment of reconciliation is mentioned, Scripture often depicts Esau's animosity as a deep-seated, long-term hatred frequently characterized in Jewish tradition as a lasting spiritual enmity.
Mm.
You know, so Esau has his tradition as well, and that was
that goes back to that Genesis 3:15. Yeah, enmity.
Gone. Yep. But if I may, because that's where it said that Esau hated his brother Jacob. So when I typed, "Why does Esau always hate Jacob?" It said that Esau always hated Jacob primarily because Jacob, with their mother Rebekah's help, used deception to steal both his birthright and their father Isaac's primary blessing. And we know through the scriptures, which the scriptures are a true record, that Esau sold his birthright to Jacob for that meal. All right. It said that this betrayal created deep resentment, leading Esau to plot murder, viewing his younger brother as a dishonest trickster, which the brother clarified that Jacob in the Hebrew is Yaquah, which means to supplant. All right.
Hey,
Which
it's
really
funny you said that Esau seen Jacob as a dishonest trickster. That's how every white Edomite cop looks at Jake. Like we're dishonest, like we got something to hide as tricksters.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, man, that's heavy, dude.
Yeah.
You got it, bro. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. It said, but he saw him as a dishonest trickster who robbed him of his rightful inheritance and covenantal status. You know, and what does the scripture say? Who are thou that replies against the Most High? You know, you saw it as something you deserved, but motherfucker, you gave it away. Like, sorry, man, but you gave it away. And we know why you did it, man. We ultimately know why you were able to do it, because you are the wicked. You have no, there's no soundness in your bones about being upright. You
I was about to
rejoice.
say that. No devotion. He had no devotion to his own creator.
Yeah.
So how the hell you gonna carry on one of the most important legacies ever when you don't even care to acknowledge your maker? You idiot. You got it.
Yep. No, it's something sacred, and yeah, man. At the and the Lord trying you all over the generations, it's shown that you don't care to represent or caretake anything that the Lord has established as what He deems holy, sanctified, tradition, culture, and a custom of behavior. You know, and the scriptures clearly tell you in Psalms the 5th chapter that the Heavenly Father is not a power that have pleasure in wickedness. Exactly. All right. So why would He leave something? Why do you believe you rightfully deserve the birthright, but you didn't even care about it up until, it's like as a child when the kid was like, nah, I don't want to play with that. But then they see the other kids having fun with it, but they're like, now I want to play with it. That's how Esau acts, man. I mean, that's why the scriptures call them children of base men. But yeah. So it said,
oh, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
No, that's why he's miserable when everybody is at peace. When you minding your business, that's when he's really nervous.
Yep. So it says key reasons for the sibling animosity, the stolen blessing, quote unquote. It said that Jacob disguised himself in Esau to receive the fatherly blessing meant for the firstborn, leaving Esau with a curse of inferiority that enraged him. It said the sold birthright. Earlier, Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of stew, and it is mentioned that he has despised or undervalued his inheritance. Despite his own negligence, he held There you go again.
No accountability.
What was the scripture? Why art thou wroth, and why art thy countenance
Countenance fell.
fallen?
Yeah.
Yeah. It said, despite his own negligence, he held an intense grudge. He got mad again. When Jacob, it says right here, he held an intense grudge when Jacob made it official.
See?
So, yeah. It says the conflict of destiny. It says the tension began before birth, with the Most High stating that the elder Esau would serve the younger Jacob. The Bible highlights a deep, ongoing spiritual difference between them. There you go. And it says sibling rivalry and jealousy. It says the animosity was compounded by familial favoritism, as their parents each favored a different child. And it said in the last part, although a moment of reconciliation is mentioned, scriptures often depicts Esau's animosity as a deep-seated long-term hatred, because we already do know that the attempt at reconciliation, was when Jacob, heard that Esau was going to come back, and so he met him, and even at then it was said that Esau came with a bunch of men, right? A bunch of men with, I think it said swords, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 400 troops, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, but Jacob came with his, his wives, his children, and some substance, But it said that, but Jacob was bringing gifts too for Esau, to try to, diffuse that anger. Huh?
Yeah. Yep, I got that right here. Genesis 33:1. It says, and Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the two handmaids. Right. So Jacob always knew, like, damn, Esau, he knows he don't like him. Obviously he knows he wants, probably wants to hurt him. Right. So he split up his family, and, but it wasn't for Esau to fulfill Genesis 27:41, where he said he's going to kill his brother, which I have to finish actually, So yeah, he came and met him with force, just like we always say when the so-called white man pulls over Jake, he'll have about 2 or 3, 4 squadrons come only for one person. But we know we know what that's about, because they pretty much like a bunch of hyenas. They get around Jake, and they want us to be nervous. They take, they make their little jokes and all of that type of stuff to humiliate you and all of that. I remember being a child, being 17, 18. I was right before I went off to college. I got arrested for truancy, man. And they acted like they won a prize just by putting me in a cell.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like. Whenever they get Jake in a situation that's bad or a vulnerable situation, man, they get off on that. They love that,
because that's why they tape it off and everything and stand back and they make a scene out of it.
Yeah, they assert dominance, and that's what Esau, man. He wants to assert his dominance. He wants to let you know he's dominant over you. I can crush you right now if I wanted to, But that's this man, And Jake just be like, wow, in front of my family, like, you want to assert dominance with a man and his family. And then you got, in some instances, in some cases, the Edomite would shoot a Jake in front of his family, Boy, how things have become, but a little bit more. It says Genesis 33:2. It says, and he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. See, he had to come in complete humbleness. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him. You know, and he was, of course, Esau was happy. I mean, guess he was happy to see him. And he fell and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. So yeah, he was happy to see his brother. You know, his only brother. But yeah, okay, you know. But he'll kill you in the next. He'll kill you in the next breath. That's how Esau is, unpredictable. You know. It says, and he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, who are those with thee? And he said, the children which God hath graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaidens came near, and they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, what meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And he said, these are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself. Okay.
The one time, man, where Esau was decent. Because like you said, it wasn't set up yet, but
the one and
nonetheless.
Right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It wasn't for that time, you know. He put the spirit on Amalek. Amalek the one is, you know. But yeah. Let's see here. Going back to Genesis 27 and 41, it says that Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Right. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee.
There you go. That's self-comfort. It was self-comfort, the terms that he was going to gratify himself to believe that this would be enough to, just like Cain. And that's really, you know, kind of the point. That's the good area to kind of end it off is, you know, that, you know, it was after the same way. Yep. All that weeping. Yeah, man. And you know, Esau's had movies, you know, where they had the woman or they had someone crying and, you know, they cry and then they just stop crying and they're like,
I'm gonna kill this motherfucker.
I know what I have to do.
I know I'm gonna kill him.
That was Esau's mindset, man. He said, I'm gonna kill my brother. I'm gonna kill him.
and then he smiled. Yeah, that's some psycho. That's some psycho shit, man. That's crazy. That is crazy, man.
But like this, you know, we said for an hour and a half, it was about the good versus evil, man. Esau is the evil, Jacob is the righteous. And we still have more yet to be played out with it, man. Esau is gonna show just how evil he is, man. We tell you that through the fulfillment of the full climax of Jacob's trouble, you know. But like the Lord said, but Jacob shall be saved out of it, you know, and righteous.
Yeah,
you got it.
Well, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for me, man. I ain't got nothing else.
Yeah, that's a good scripture you posted though.
Psalm 17:13, it says, this from the bro, it says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Yeah,
you know, Esau's going to be able to do a little bit in this time. He is going to be able to kill a little bit of Jacob, but he ain't gonna do what he wants to do, which is eradicate and exterminate the entire nation. The Lord's going to intervene. The Lord's going to show his power and. You know, ultimately, the Heavenly Father actually defending Jacob in the end shows that the Heavenly Father is a power who is about what he said he is, holy, righteous. Because Jacob is the righteous. Jacob is that plain man, as we read in Genesis. All right. So when Esau, when the Lord does come back and he's destroying everything about Esau, then that's when the world also is going to realize, like, okay, yeah, the scripture, like you said earlier, Jacob was a protagonist, Esau was the antagonist. The story was always tied to Jacob being the heart of this movie that the Lord made, and in the end, righteousness will prevail.
Yeah, righteousness
So,
real. Yeah, I'll just read these last two the brother has, and then we're gonna end it. All right, 2 Ezra 2:13. Go, and ye shall receive. Pray for few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. Yeah, and exactly what the scriptures say. That's what we're doing, man. We're praying for short days, and that's exactly what the Lord is doing. He's shortening the days. This is Zephaniah 3:8. It says, therefore, wait ye upon me, said the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. Right. We're not gonna, go get arms and go fight a revolution. We ain't gonna do that. I was about to say it. Anyway, I was going to say a joke, but never mind. It says, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. And that's what's happening. That's the culmination of World War III, and the controversy of Zion. The Lord is actually gathering them together to ultimately preserve them to, at his return, so he can get rid of them all at once. It says, even all my fierce anger for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. That's right. They didn't care to acknowledge us. They didn't care to, memorialize us as we should, to wake us up. And for all that pain and hurt, the Lord, well, guess what? The Lord is jealous over that. He's mad. He's zealous over that, since nobody else is. Okay. And he's going to bring wrath upon the nations, man. Right, and rightfully so. So that's all I got.
Yeah. That's a good place to end it. Lord willing, was edifying.
Yeah, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to you, Akim and Tawada, for the precepts. Until next time, we say shalom.
Shalom.